Hi guys, it's me Iceberg, and today I wanna review the new Sivga SM100 for $42 with a single DD driver in a dual chamber design. This model is supposed to be the first gaming IEMS with the metal shells, pretty unusual shape, cable with a mic, and all of this in a budget price. And that's kinda intriguing. And before we get into it, I wanna thank the Sivga team for providing the SM100s for this review. All the purchase links are in the description below the video. As always, all opinions here are mine, and I'll be completely honest with you about what I hear and feel. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright, the Sivga SM100 comes in small box with the IEMS and the model name on the front, brief specifications on the side, and information about the manufacturer on the back. Inside the box we get the SM100 shells themselves, 2-pin cable with a 3.5mm jack, 3 sets of silicone ear tips with a wide and narrow bore in M and L sizes, and a manual. Okay, I'll be quick about the cable because it's pretty basic for this price. It's a silver-plated OFC cable with a 3.5mm jack, metal fittings, secure 2-pin connectors, and a mic on it. And now you can check out the mic quality for yourself. So to the touch, this cable is quite thin, flexible and playable without tangling or microphone effect, and it's kinda nice to use it. Overall, I haven't had any problems with this, and the mic on it is a nice addition for gamers and meeting as well. Moving back to the shells, they are made of CNC metal or zinc alloy to be precise, and their build quality is just phenomenal. On the face plates we can see a simple design featuring the Sivga logo on a matte background with a raised geometric pattern, while on the inner side there is a brass nozzle that is quite tall and around 5.5 wide, so they may be suitable for the narrow ear canals. Also here we have 2 vents for each chamber, so the shell is well ventilated, which I do especially like. There is also a knee channel indicator and a small brass screw, just for design or a constructor feature, I don't really know. Alright, let's talk about the fit, because it's crucial for comfy listening experience, right? So the Sivga SM100s have a custom bean shape with ergonomic curves inside, following the natural shape of the ear. Size-wise, I would say they are smaller than average and pretty light, despite the metal shells. So personally this shape works pretty good for me, but only after choosing the right small tips, because the included ones are just terrible, unless you have large ears. Well, the fit here is not super deep, but secure, with a tight seal, and they basically don't stick out from my small ears, which is big plus. So you can use them with the full-size headphones or under a hat. They don't create pressure points, redness, or discomfort, but I would be careful with them if you have specific ear shape or very large ears, because then the fit won't be as tight. The isolation here depends on the tips you use and how tight they fit. With my Venus velvet tips, the isolation here is above average, so they are comfy to use at home or in moderately noisy places. But if it's really loud, like on transport or at gaming environment, then external noise will leak in, affecting the sound quality. Alright, it's time to look at the SM100 graph to see how Sivga tuned them, and I'll be also quick here. So here we have a pretty neutral, I would say mild V-shaped graph, with a sub-bass shelf raised by about 7 decibels, and a smooth transition to the mid-bass, with a minor boost around 150 Hz, which gives us a more balanced bass. Then we can see a quite emphasized mid-range, which gives a big adventures in the games, bringing steps and shoots to the forefront, and in music of course, bringing vocals and instruments to the front as well. The upper mid-range region is boosted here with a peak at 2.5 kHz, which gives us more presence to the lead instruments and vocals. The high frequency region is also emphasized, not to the sky, but local peaks at the 5 and 8 kHz may be too much for some. But what I noticed is the entry roll-off after 10 kHz, which deprives us of air and extension in the treble. Overall, I see here a mid-centric tuning with an emphasis on upper mid-range, which is ideal for gaming, bringing the gaming environment to the fore, and for music, bringing vocals and instruments. But how the SM100 sounds in reality? Let's find it out. In reality, the SM100 is not about forceful mid-centric presentation, as the graph shows, but sound more organic, coherent, and most importantly, it's balanced, but not neutral at all. Tonally wise, these are probably the warmest IEMs at around $50, but at the same time, they're surprisingly energetic, dynamic, and even in fast genres, they keep up with the rhythm. At first, I noticed that their sound reminded me of something, and out of curiosity, I went looking for similar IEMs, and finally, yeah, they countless similar to my favorite SIMGOT lineup. Just look at the graph. Their bass and mid-range region are almost identical. Of course, SIMGOTs reveal more detail, more technical, and brighter, but lol, for this price we should expect some compromises. Regarding the bass, SM100 is definitely focuses on the mid-bass, and here it's dense, fast, and very controlled. Not to the bass head level, but not boring either. The amount and depth of the sub-bass here depends on a good source and a tight fit. In fact, I actually had to press the shells with my hand to feel the rise and depth of the sub-bass, while in the normal position of the IEMs it's almost missing due to the not so deep fit, which obviously sucks. The mid-bass on the other hand is a lot safer. It's elastic, clear, punchy, but at the same time fast and controlled. Due to the fast attack and decay, I would say that this amount is lacking for me as a bass head, and I wish for more power, punch and impact in this set. However, it works well for hip-hop, rock and metal, but they might be not sufficient for the EDM, dubstep and other bassy genres. The mid-range in SM100 is forward, transparent, with excellent articulation and clarity. Thanks to the warm and dense lower mids, the vocals get a warm and weighty sound, where male baritones and low vocals sound full-bodied, meaty and thick, while instruments like the guitar, cello or piano also have a natural fullness. The female vocals sound delicate and ethereal, ringing and airy, but without any screaming or harshness, which I like even more. I can especially appreciate the emphasis on clarity and detail in the upper mids, where Sivga did a very good job. Sure, there is a boost in here and it's noticeable, adding clarity and presence to the vocals and instruments, but without sibilant hiss or fatigue. This makes the mid-range safe for long listening sessions, even on bright tracks or live recordings. Vocals don't get loud in the overall picture, and instruments don't blend into the mush. The treble in SM100s is lively, sparkling, but smooth and controlled. It's not the brightest, shiny to the point treble which is often typical for the SIMGOT models, nor it's dark like in some budget sets. Here Sivga has made it more balanced set and enjoyable, with a clear emphasis on clarity and micro details, but without sharp peaks. The treble feels here energetic and present in the lower region, where cymbals, hi-hats and high strings notes all come forward with the brilliance and attack. This adds a ceiling to the sound, harmoniously extending the mid-range. The only thing is, on bright tracks, this may be a slight sharpness in the 6 to 7 kHz range, especially if the source is bright. This is usually acceptable, because at medium volume and with normal tracks, the treble feels smoother and more comfortable than with many other bright models. But if you're treble sensitive or listen for hours at high volumes, then yeah, you may experience slight fatigue from this incisive energy. The Soundstage in SM100s is deep and spacious with a good height, but the width is average rather than exceptional. Thanks to the dense, close presentation of the mid-range, the center of the soundstage feels very intimate and focused, with vocals and lead instruments simply sitting right in front of you, creating an effect of closeness that is especially noticeable on the vocal-centric tracks, acoustic, jazz, indie and soul. At the same time, the space is not compressed into the point, and the sides of the stage are pushed back far enough so the instruments don't interfere with each other and maintain their clarity. The separation here is above average for this price, where the sound layers remain distinct even in dense moments, and each instrument or vocal line has its own place without the typical budget congestion. Of course, in very busy tracks the separation drops slightly due to the overall density of the presentation, but that's more my picky nature. And when it comes to the imaging, it's accurate and stable, especially in the games. Footsteps in the CS2, Valorant or PUBG are super clear and precise, with the mid-bass and forward mids emphasizing their sound, and the stage itself adding positioning, where you know exactly where the shooting is coming from and where the enemy will pop out. Honestly, I could play the shooters with my eyes closed, simply because the direction of the sound is so accurately conveyed here. Okay guys, in conclusion, I got the Sivga SM100 just out of my curiosity, because I saw the CNC metal shells, cable with a mic, and the price at around $43, and then I thought, okay, the first gaming IEMs from the Sivga, well, let's see what they can do. I put them in my ears, and the first thing really surprised me. Lol, despite their custom shape, they fit like a glove. I expected the metal beans to press or fall off, but nah. The ergonomics here are on point, and even after several hours of gaming or listening to the music, my ears don't turn red or hard. However, I would recommend replacing the stock tips, since they are not ideal. But the sound, which is why we are here, is more organic and balanced set than you might expect from looking at the graph. The warm tone combined with the energy dynamics is what makes the sound lively and engaging, and the mid-range is especially impressive, with the forward, transparent, detailed sound and excellent articulation of vocals and instruments. Sivga in here has managed to achieve an emphasis on the upper mids without sibilance or fatigue, which is rare for the price. Also, the SM100s are unique because they work equally well for gaming and music. In CS2, Valorant and PUBG, the positioning of the footsteps and gunshots is so accurate that you can play with your eyes closed. And when it comes to the music, whether it's hip-hop, rock, jazz or acoustic, they sound natural, detailed and engaging. Of course, at this price there are some compromises, such as not so deep sub-bass and early roll-off after 10k Hz. But lol, these are $43 IEMs and they surprisingly similar to the SIMGOTs at much lower price. In the end, my final rating is 9 out of 10, and if you are a fan of vocal tracks, gamer or looking for versatile IEMs with a limited budget, then the SM100 is an easy pick for you in the 2026. Seriously, they sound more expensive than their actual price. And that's it. Thank you guys for being with me until the end. You're legends. Leave a like if you enjoyed this review and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next videos. This was Iceberg, I'll catch you guys later, take care and bye.